So anytime I go to the grocery store,
Yeah.
okay, I take it back. If I go to Fry's,
Okay.
to go grocery shopping,
Yes.
which is often, but sometimes I will, on the way home from work, say, hey, babe, what you need me to get at the store? I still have 4 or 5 items, right?
Right.
And whenever I do that, I stop and I get Fig Newtons. It's her favorite little treat during the workday. And she keeps them in the office, and I don't really go in her office. So every once in a while, I'll just get a thing of Fig Newtons. So she just put on our shopping list a stop sign emoji. It says, no Fig Newtons until further notice. I guess I overstocked her.
Arizona is a wildly beautiful place, brimming with over 100 brewing companies. I'm Rob Fulmer, the Executive Director of the Arizona Craft Brewers Guild. I'm joined by Deputy Director Andrew Bauman. Together we cover the state, bringing you the best of what's happening at our breweries and beyond. Welcome to Arizona Beer Frontier.
She just put on our shopping list a stop sign emoji. And it says, no Fig Newtons until further notice. I guess I overstocked her.
Okay.
What, are we okay? Ready to go? Okay.
I don't know.
Like that? Okay.
Well, I want to provide some context. We just the show that currently came out is the one in Flagstaff After Dark, The Drinkening.
Yes, it did come up in my feed.
It did. All right, so it's there.
Yeah, I was like, oh God, I don't think I'm going to listen to that.
Well, I wrote the description because I listened to it.
To be fair, I say that about every single one.
I listened to it, several times editing it, and I'm like, you were definitely surly, and I was definitely annoyed. Like, like I didn't feel like it, but I'm like looking at my sort of reaction to things, and then Bonnie's just in there trying to stitch it all together. But she left a couple times for to do some things.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, so
hey Rob,
Andrew Bauman,
welcome to our Thursday podcast.
Yeah.
So we're doing this early because you're rolling out.
Yes, I'm rolling out on Wednesday. I'm going to New Zealand. My flight lands in Auckland on Friday morning.
Wow.
So I'm leaving Wednesday, and and then we have a rental car, and we have no itinerary yet.
Cool.
But I mean, can do that on the plane maybe.
Yeah, you have 20 hours.
I did put the feelers out
18?
for some hop farms. Definitely go to Nelson. There's a ferry ride between Auckland and Nelson. The north and the south are divided. I casually looked at if you drive the length tip to tip, it's like 30 hours, but you can only go like 35 miles an hour or something like that, average or whatever. So, and there, I think the ferry ride's 3 hours or something dumb like that.
Wow.
So,
I do have some contacts for you there.
Oh, you do? Okay, great.
Yeah. Behemoth Brewing, Andy Childs. He's amazing.
What part of the?
I don't know.
No, you don't even know the town?
Maybe
the town's called Behemoth. Wouldn't that be funny?
Brohemoth.
Brohemoth.
He's a 6'5", very big guy.
Okay. He's a behemoth.
Yes.
So we'll probably go to the Lord of the Rings stuff. Like the Hobbiton Village is on the north, and I think everything else is south. But like, I don't know, man. Like, I see pictures like, oh yeah, that's from the film, but like, it's just geography, right?
Right.
It's just,
there's a hill.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what time we have. And we have time to. I also considered an RV, but then I was confused by the pricing because I didn't, it's New Zealand dollars, and like I can't tell if it's reflecting US dollars and New Zealand dollars. So I gave up. Yeah. And I don't know what fuel costs, and I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I'm going to do that. So this is for Thursday. We recorded a episode for the week that I am gone with Camila, and that is ready to go. I just need to put up a title card and a description.
Cool.
So that's all ready to go. We'll record this. We're also going to talk to some folks on Tuesday. So hopefully we'll get ahead of this because we do have a jam-packed month.
Yeah.
And then April has a couple things in it for us, including the Baja Beer Festival.
Baja Beer Festival.
The Ocho. The
April
8th.
6th. Yeah, it's the 8th.
The 8th.
Annual.
Yes. It's on the 6th, but it's on April 6th, but it is the 8th year that we have had this festival. 7 out of 8 being, 6 out of 8 being in Armory Park. One year we had the Saving Baja in Button's parking lot.
Right.
The masked pod version.
Yeah.
Groups.
I love those fests.
Yeah.
They're so effective. Oh, that's a lot of rain.
Oh yeah, it's raining.
A lot just
Here in
now.
Tempe.
It just started. Wow.
So we have that, and I'm looking forward to that. We have a partial list here. Dragoon. This is in the order they signed up. So Dragoon. Everybody knows who Dragoon is, right? They in fact have the women's collaboration beer, and we are today. Is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow is International Women's Day. Yes,
but
the 8th.
that's in the past for people listening to the podcast. They have the women's collaboration beer, which is a Mexican lager.
I'm just bringing up the
slightly snappy. Oh, it's right here. You can't read that.
No.
It's Dragoon, Verdi Brewing Company, Basin and Range. You want to tell people what that's all about?
Shocker to me too. They get our newsletter. I know that he did.
Right.
So Rebecca did, and now
they're coming.
they're coming. Apparently.
So they were a side project for Adam, who worked at Voltron.
That's right.
Brewing beers for Fire Truck, working in the same facility as Borderlands. And he created his own brand and sold it in the tap room there, and then qualified for GABF.
Right.
Won medal there.
Yeah.
Is that a gold medal?
I think so, yeah.
I believe it was. And then they moved
to Colorado.
But they also went to our Real Wild and Woodsy festival.
Yeah, yeah.
And now they're going to spend some time in Tucson, I guess, and
More power for all their rovings around. They have a super awesome camper van.
yeah.
So they live that nomad lifestyle.
I don't like to use that word, the G word. I think it's a ethnic slur.
No, we say nomad.
Yeah, nomadic.
Yeah.
Brewing. Okay.
Yeah.
Black Rock Brewers, Moto Sonora Brewing Company, Walter Station from here in Phoenix, Corbett, Tucson, Ranch Hand from Eloy, Catalina from Tucson, that Marana area, Bacher, the cider makers in downtown Tucson, Screwbean Brewing. That's a new brewery to most folks, isn't it? I've been there a couple times.
Right. I was super excited to see that they signed up because I think it's their first festival.
Yeah, well, it's definitely the first for us. I haven't really been seeing any other festivals where they've been featured, but no, we're excited. I've only had one time to talk to the owners down there, so Thunder Canyon. Good to see
Tucson.
them. One of the older breweries in
Bulwark? Is that an appropriate word?
Bulwark?
Yeah. Let me check.
I'll move on.
Okay.
Pueblo Vita, who, I mean, for all purposes, they could just literally get a couple two-wheelers and wheel everything over across the street.
It's not the appropriate word.
Fortify.
To fortify with a wall or provide protection.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
No.
That's
Stalwart.
There you go. Stalwart. Thank you.
Then Huss Brewing from Tempe, Baja Brewing Company from Baja, California.
Yeah, from Mexico.
Mexico. Yep. Barrio Brewing Company, Buki Bichi from Hermosillo.
Mm-hmm. Nice pronunciation, friend.
And also 2 tap rooms here in the Phoenix area. Iron John's Brewing Company. Haven't talked to those folks in a while. That'll be fun.
I get out there once in a while and talk to them. So we'll see what they have going on. They just converted their downtown tap room into the Juniper. It's a cocktail place now, but they also serve their beer there. And then they opened their burger place in the last few months.
Crooked Tooth Brewing Company. Love to see them. Gonna see if I can put together that video from last year and add some more recent information. I think Ben did a really good job of explaining the pride he has in the festival. Mm-hmm. And, his call to the rest of the state is come down here. There's only a handful of people who are doing that. So I agree with him. But in that same spirit, Drew Ortega with Uncle Bear's Brewery will be there.
Right.
So we've got a few.
And I've got, I had my first interaction with Mosaic Brewing today. Remember yesterday how I was pulling my hair out? I can't find them.
Right.
Indeed. Who is the Firestone rep down there? MJ?
I don't know.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Maui Modern Times rep. Anyways, he sent an intro email, and I set up a meeting for next week.
Great.
So I'm going to go down there, sit with them, take a look, see how they're doing, maybe get them to sign up for Baja.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah.
It's pretty early in the life cycle of a brewery to be getting out to a festival right now, but who knows? Maybe they're motivated.
So some people might wonder why when we have a Phoenix festival, we have a lot of out-of-state breweries, and when we have some of these other ones, that doesn't happen as much. Well, 2 things. One is we're limited by space, and so we're always going to defer to our Arizona breweries. But in some cases, and we're trying to work through that, one of those behind-the-scenes things that you'll hear about as we talk about things with Camila next week is
participation by
distributor support. A lot of before the pandemic, there was a lot more support from distributors to bring brands out that don't necessarily have places to store their equipment. They would do a beer drop for multiple brands. That's not a thing anymore, or it's sounding like it's not a thing anymore. And we're going to get to the bottom of that hopefully pretty soon with these distributors. I just got to understand what's on the table here, and we're going to have to decide if that's going to be the case. How do we manage? Because we do like to celebrate some of the out-of-state brands when it's appropriate, and if they can't make it down because the distributor's not going to support,
or the doors are locked and they can't pick up beer.
Yeah.
That's really bad scene. Like, for example, I just talked about Maui and Modern Times. Mm-hmm. They can't make it because they're already committed in Vegas that weekend. But if he were to want to participate and he needs beer, where does he get it? He can't go to his brewery, pick it up, and then drive it over.
Right.
Some of the Arizona ones obviously can, but some of them can't either. If you're at Grand Canyon Brewing, you can't just...
Oh, yeah, I should mention that. It's not exclusively out-of-state breweries.
Right.
It can be breweries that are in larger distribution.
If you, for example, are in Lake Havasu...
Yeah.
And you need to have beer for this event, and your distributor's locked the doors, you can't get any. It's really hard.
Yeah, it can be super difficult, and I guess some of this might be covered in their original contract, or maybe not. Definitely, there is a contraction of distributor services that is meant to support brands. One of the hallmarks of the beer industry is to provide samples. It's a big part of every business plan, and festivals are a vehicle. They're not the only vehicle. You can do grocery store tastings or events in bars and things, but you're just not going to see as many people. And so, there's definitely a form and a function to what we do. And anyway, I'm excited about that festival. It remains intimate. It has a character unlike any other, and it's really brought forth by the participation of the many and varied Tucson breweries that we like. So, you know, I know that town has 20-ish breweries or so, and most of them are tap room. Most of them rely on that business. They are neighborhood centric. So for them to remain with a bright future, people need to go to those places. So try them. Change your plans to fit them in when you're if you enjoy what you have had at the festival. You know,
Visit your local brewery today, not tomorrow, today.
exactly.
And speaking of Tucson and local breweries, Borderlands opened their third location.
Yeah, we're gonna have to check that. Well, you're gonna have to check that out. You're gonna go down there and provide some posters and things, right?
Going down on the 13th and going down again on the 19th and 20th.
Yeah, and,
Overnight stay.
nice,
So exciting. Sleeping in my car.
dude. All right. I mean, maybe drive up to the top of Mount Lemmon or something.
That's what I did last time.
Okay.
Might do it again.
Other news.
Other news.
This is just
that was all Baja news. Here's more news.
This is about a beer dinner that we are a part of, and we are thankful to Wren House, Sud Hall, for participating. This is a Prague dinner. As you may know, we are part of the Prague Sister Cities, representing Phenix and Prague, as one of our sort of, I don't know, it's not really a core guild function, but it's a way to create some excitement and work with municipal entities like Phenix and get our beer to have a more worldwide feel.
I think it's a core guild function.
Well, it's an opportunity that Phoenix has provided only because they have great sister cities that are relevant to us beer-wise. Calgary, not necessarily known for its historic beers, but has a thriving beer community, and also distilled spirits. And they've come down here, and we've had some discussions. And Hermosillo, which we mentioned, Buki Beachy. Hopefully there's an opportunity for us to take part in their festival down in Mexico. They changed the date. I think we unfortunately might have I don't know. We might have a conflict.
April is so busy.
Anyway,
Okay.
so this beer dinner,
Details coming soon.
yeah, well, I mean, if you're watching the video, we'll put it up, but there's a 3-course sit-down meal that is mostly designed around people who are part of the sister cities, but it will be on a sister cities website to buy tickets. And then there's an all-day menu, and proceeds are going towards the Prague committee in the sister cities program. And we hope to have a successful event so that we can pattern it and work with the city of Phoenix to do a brewer exchange between Prague and Phoenix. And, you know, the thing I'm most excited about is the number of small breweries in Prague that have open fermentation lagers.
Totally different from what we do.
Totally. And super enjoyable. And not just exclusively if you're used to like Pilsner or Cal, which has a definite, it breaks a lot of rules, but it if it's fresh, it can really work. It can really sing. But there are other styles, Czech styles, that I'm excited about. And they, even though they are a drinking little town, they're having some struggles with their taproom model breweries. They're finding engagement problems, and that's something that we hope to have conversations about. So we're not just talking about the brewers. We're talking about, you know, front of the house.
Holistically.
Yes.
Breweries holistically.
Let me just throw down some of these things, and I tried to get these pronounced. There's a 3-course dinner meal, and then there's the daytime meal. It's the all-day daytime is the Smazany Syr Sando, which Smazany Syr is a kind of a sausage. They're going to use that raclette cheese, that melted cheese, you know.
The big wheel that you scrape it off.
Yeah. They have an Amadeus burger with, I'm sorry, Smazany Syr is fried cheese. Fried cheese, that's the raclette part. The Amadeus burger has this Spekacek sausage. That's where I was confused. They have a pickled sausage plate, but for the dinner, they have the schmazny sear as its own standalone raclette with golden beets, toasted walnuts, and cherry vinaigrette.
Solid.
Course 2 is a duck confit, the pečena kačna, with roasted celeriac, which is celery root, dill sauce, and bread dumplings. And then for the third course is koblihi, which is donuts, plum seed donuts, anise, sugar, plum jam, whipped cream. So that sounds fucking great.
Cool.
And they're going to have Wren House's version of Czech style beers. Don't know which of the many they have, 3 or 4 that they feature. Hopefully they'll time it to get as many on as possible. They also will have a complement of European style beers. Hopefully they can lean on, I think their distributor for that is either going to be Quail or Crescent Crown.
For what? The
Czech style beers.
Sure. Well, they generally have a lot of Czech
yeah, but it was a struggle to, because I think the distributors didn't think they were serious about devoting a lot of their menu to, because brewery sales can be hit or miss for distributors because it's not, if you want a keg a month, they're really not going to.
It's really hard to get any
traction.
Yeah.
But we will also put the word out
to local Arizona brewers who like to play with the Czech style beers.
Right. At any given time, I've noticed between 8 and 10 sometimes across the state that are available.
Absolutely.
So the decision about that will be made by the prog committee so that we're out of this whole thing. But we'll put that communication out there.
I know that our friends at Arizona Wilderness have done Czech style beers in the past. I know that Pedal House.
Yeah, Pedal House has
several times. They both have Phoenix locations. But really, when you look at Phoenix, I was doing this the other day. So many breweries are in that name city.
Yeah.
It's just large.
Yeah.
There's a lot of breweries in Mesa. There's a lot of breweries in Tempe. If we're just limiting to Phoenix breweries, that's not very limiting, honestly.
Yeah. Well, we just want to get through this event, and it's going to be stellar, and I know it's going to sell out. If we did nothing but advertise to our group, it will.
I mean, there's only going to be maybe 50 seats available for that dinner.
Yeah.
You can go in all day and sample the beers and have the style food, but to do the actual dinner, 50 seats seems like a lot in that space.
Yeah.
And we're not doing multiple seatings.
No.
We could do a 3 and a 5.
Yeah. The point of that is there's a lot of, hopefully it's an opportunity for the mayor. She attends some of these events. I know they're also trying to do a Prague visit this year. So there's a lot of that. Hopefully, we'd also like to attract business owners that do business in Prague to work with us.
And people who have moved to Phoenix from Prague.
Oh, yeah. That committee needs, they need members. They need
membership drive as well as a fundraiser.
Right.
For sure.
So if we come out of this, like I think we are, that will set us up to do a lot more things to, again, do that cultural exchange with
That'd be great. And we have, I know the Czechia's agriculture department has really been aggressive in doing cultural exchanges because of their hop farms and all the things that they grow there.
It's a hard K, by the way. Czechia.
Czechia, thank you.
Yeah, I actually Jeff Allworth did a show and he talked about it. Czechia and Czech. You can call it Czech. Cool. Czech Republic, Czechia.
Czech Republic or Czechia, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
What is this delicious beer you have in your cup there?
This is the Blue and Gold.
Did we talk about that on the Friday night thing? I'm sure we did.
You were there. Do you
I don't remember. No, I don't know what we talk about.
Yeah, we did.
Great. Here it is again. It's beautiful.
Yes, it is. It is definitely gold. It's cold IPA, Historic Brewing Company, NAU on the back of the can.
Officially licensed.
Yes.
We have other breweries in the state who do licensed beers.
Yes.
We've got
Arizona.
Well, we've got the Cardinals with Four Peaks. We've got Grand Canyon with the Coyotes. We've got... Does Santan have a U of A?
I don't know. I haven't seen any U of A. I don't think. I mean, other than Coors.
Oh, God. We've got Pueblo Vita with University of Arizona.
Yep. That's it.
There's... Okay.
I don't know. Oh, Sunbrew is Suns?
Is it?
I think it was, yeah.
Well, a little hint for anyone in the industry who is wondering, well, gosh, why is there so much talk in Guild social media about the blue and gold? Because they sent us a press release and asked us to talk about it.
All right. Historic did that, yeah.
Yeah, Historic did that.
What are you doing? Oh, they have the
zipper
removal
label.
Yeah.
But we haven't had that request from other breweries, so if anyone wants to hit us up and be like, hey, let's talk about Pueblo Vita and U of A in our
right.
thing. We'd love to have you on the pod.
And I will tell you, they didn't even ply us with this beer.
No, I bought it with money.
So it's not like they sent us a case of beer
No.
and said, hey, talk about it.
That's right.
I mean,
that would be cool too. But
it would be, but that's not required.
not required.
It's mostly just telling us,
this is happening.
yeah. I
got Tomagachi Beer Fest on Saturday. That's happening.
Yeah.
It's sold out, but I bought my tickets a while ago. So
I talked to Kristen about that. She's like, yeah, I can't believe it's sold out, but now I'm getting all this hate mail because there's no room. I'm like, I like the fact that we're rewarding people for making the purchase early. It's just got to come to that, down to that. You don't understand how much we bleed out time and money catering
trying to promote it in the last week.
Catering to that. And you know, yeah, I mean, they're like, well, you're taking the money, right? Yes. But because we've extended ourselves out to accommodate. And
it complicates the situation a lot. So it's nice that their first event is sold out. They don't have to worry about promoting it, and they can worry about actually running it.
Right, making it better. Perfect example. So before I forget, because we talked about Sunbrew, or I did. You saw that Corona is coming out with Sunbrew?
Yes.
Sunbrew, Sunbrew. And as we know, Corona is, in the United States, not part of ABI. And we know that Four Peaks is a brand that is owned by ABI, Sunbrew.
Definitely could cause confusion in the market.
If it was any other brewery, it would cause confusion. And else we know that internationally, Corona is part of ABI, is part of, So the question I have, and next time we get on the phone with our legal experts at the Brewers Association, I'm going, why don't we force that issue?
You'll be in New Zealand, so
I might. I'll be ahead.
What's the issue that you want to force? The name
They
confusion?
should not be able to use the same name for two different companies.
I don't know.
Like if they're two different in the United States, they should not be able to sell that brand because they should have to enforce their trademark.
Right. And they say, well, we own both. But you don't know that because that might just be a Constellation brand.
They don't own that in the United States.
Right.
And
also they're not allowed. Well, I don't know. I don't know the complications. I know that there were some lawsuits being thrown around between Constellation and ABI because
of a tea or something.
They made a Corona seltzer.
Yeah.
And they said, you're not allowed to use the name for anything except beer.
Right.
So I don't know if they control the name use, and maybe Sunbrew is an ABI brand that...
It's perplexing, and all I have to say is they're getting their cake and eating it too.
They are.
And everyone else would just have to choose one.
Yep.
So...
the other thing I saw was Corona non-alc in the store. I have a picture. We'll put it up.
Pedro Pascal.
$11.99 a six-pack.
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal's doing that?
I think so, yeah.
God damn it. I love that guy.
He's a sexy man.
Yeah, he's just amazing.
Anyway.
Less so now.
Why?
Because I'm just talking shit.
Yeah. You're gonna multitask during our actual... Oh, you have notes. Okay.
I have notes.
All right.
Oh, update your podcatcher.
Oh, what?
Google Podcast is going away.
Oh, yeah. If you listen to us on Google podcasts, I think you can go to Google Music, which I'm not.
No, YouTube Music.
YouTube Music, whatever.
And it's terrible.
Is it?
From what I've read.
Yeah. So I listen to Google Podcasts, and it's great because it's a single app, and in terms of listening in the car, it works with CarPlay and it works with Android Auto, and all it is podcasts.
And it's easy. It's clean. It's not complicated. So anyways, you need to find something else because Google Podcast goes away April 2nd.
Right. And also, if you subscribe to dozens of podcasts like I do, like you do, there is a way to import it. What's the...
OPMLs.
Oh, you have to find an OBML converter.
Google will give you an OPML file, and then I just said share with the new podcast app, and everything went in.
So I did that with Spotify, and here's what I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
If the last time I use Spotify is for a podcast, all I get is podcast things when I fire up my car, and I'm like, I want to listen to music. So then I got to go boop boop boop,
different tabs and all this stuff. And
yeah, it's really super complicated instead of just hitting the right app. But
thank you for going through that for me, so I didn't have to.
Oh, I sent you the link, didn't I? To do that, I guess. But
yeah.
Oh, to tell you that, this is
don't use Spotify because it'll mix all of your...
Yeah, so, but you have a solution that I haven't checked out yet. It's called what?
I don't remember.
Snapper, something?
Snipped. SNIPD.
Yeah.
Yeah, so apparently it has a little button on it.
Sounds like something that's going to walk me through a vasectomy.
There's a button on it if you want to remember the last 10 seconds or something. You can hit the button so you're not distracted trying to write things down while you're driving. You can just push the little snip button.
I like that.
And it remembers that part, and then you can go into your snips, and it'll say, here you go.
Because we do listen to podcasts, and sometimes I want to at least remember what the gist of it is.
And it's got a whole bunch of AI functions that you can subscribe to for $9 a month. Ooh. But it works perfectly fine without subscribing today. In about a month, they'll start being like, oh, it's all going to cost you $4.
Am I going to get ads pushed in?
I didn't see any ads. I just downloaded it yesterday, so I don't have a ton of experience with it. But
okay. You mentioned the AI word, and that actually can segue into something that we did last week. We went to a restaurant roundtable. Is that what it's called? Restaurant. Yes. And it's designed, well, I don't know what it's designed around. We only went one time, but it seemed like there were some business owners of restaurants
and managers
and allied members of some sort, people who
some insurance
people who do services in the restaurant space. We were invited by our good friend David DiLorenzo, aka the D-Lo. And it was held at the Restaurant Association's office space. Got to say hey to Dan, who does lobbying. In his office, I'm like, now I know where to find you. Now it's set up with it's set up. You walk in and it's kind of a big break room with a restaurant servers area. So there's beverages, ice,
all every kind of coffee maker you could imagine.
Yeah,
there's 2 taps.
Yeah.
For beer.
They had Grand Canyon on and Huss.
I think Huss.
So believe it or not, I didn't tap a beer.
I did not have a beer either.
But the focus of this particular topic, it's topic-based. They meet once a month?
Quarterly.
Quarterly.
Last year they met 5 times. Now they're meeting quarterly, 4 times this year.
Okay. So a couple of reasons. One, we want to see if we can replicate something like that for our industry. Or this would have been a good topic to invite some of our brewery people or board members since we got the invite.
I invited everyone.
We didn't really, we didn't. But
we didn't call anyone directly,
and we didn't push anybody. But it was a good topic. It was about a change in website development, I would say. And it's just one particular company. We're going to meet with them next week to see if it makes sense. But already a handful of our breweries are using their services, and it's a lot of AI driven stuff. And we've already talked a little bit about how we use AI and how we envision people using AI. So
I'm taking an AI little online course.
We were on the right track on some of it. Definitely, they're using it in the restaurant space to create menu descriptions, and even in some cases, creating recipes.
Very tedious jobs as far as Menu descriptions. Ooh, if you can automate that, it saves so much time.
Well, the crossover part is that you got the people who code it, who sometimes are asked to write copy, and they're not experts in any of this.
Right.
And, you've got busy professionals, who that's not a skill set that they necessarily have, putting things in written format. So they can take a good stab at it with the AI, and then it's just being reviewed. And so menu items, descriptions of things, event descriptions, that's the thing that we talked about using it for Beer Week and for, writing descriptions. I mean, you just write an IPA description and you can say, well, that's not the flavor of this hop, but the structure is there and I can sort of intercept it and change it appropriately. So yeah, that's going to save you some time. And, but this seems to be more integrated. The other thing that was super interesting to me was they were using it so basically if someone had a Yelp review, it would go into a queue and it'd get it on their, I don't know, email or some sort of format, and they would be able to read the comment and have the autoresponder already prepare a comment, and all they have to do is approve it or
all
edit
they do is click yes.
And this is going to be super useful in social media responses for things, I feel, because some of the hardest things that you can do as a business owner is try to separate and try to keep things not personal. So if you get a scathing,
rip you apart review.
Right. It could be completely unfair, but there is an opportunity to, write a response that you can, just like anything in AI, you can say in the style of, or in this tone, you can, this bothers me. But I want to appear conciliatory. I want to offer, if you have somebody else write it for you and you just look at it.
It's so much easier.
It takes the personality things out of it. And, in the case of a troll where you can just definitely block them. But in a case where you can just wear them out by saying, be conciliatory, but don't concede anything and give me a response. And so the people who are writing, these trolls you're going to wear them out. And it just gives you an opportunity
to have fun for them when you just go like, oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm sure I'm sure it probably exists somewhere in the form of Instagram comments, Facebook comments. So that
You've
was
heard
intriguing.
of bots, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, we all know some people in this industry that have gone down the rabbit hole and
getting
comments
mad and taking it personal. And it's hard not to.
Yeah. No,
it's my life. It's my business is what I'm doing every day, 26 hours a day.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was interesting. We talked, actually in our next podcast, I used an AI voice to do an introduction because we were just kind of chatting and we didn't really formally introduce our guest, Camila Alarcon, which is next week. So I put a little thing in there. You'll hear it. I put some music under it. It's kind of fun. So you can do that because I don't want to if I'm editing the video in the middle of the night, I don't want to do a voiceover
really loud and wake your wife up and think someone broke in.
Yeah. So I just typed in the thing and used the voice. But also there are podcasts out there that are entirely AI driven. Let's just say you're in the airline industry and you want to collect the top 10 stories about airlines. You put in some information about the topics, the tags, and it will search things out. It will write what's going on in that industry, and it'll put it in a voice, and it will do here's my lead-in music. It will play music. It's really super advanced. And all you have to do is the producer of that show is just review it, make sure it's not pulling the wrong thing. It's not
saying
picking the same
wacky
types of stories. If you're just doing an airline industry thing, it's not just picking all the fights on airlines. You can sort of say, hey, less of this and more of that. I don't know. Is it something that we would do? I don't know.
Every day I get a Google alert for craft beer Arizona or craft beer Phoenix or craft beer Tucson or Craft beer Arizona minus Milwaukee because it's all Milwaukee Brewer stuff. It's very annoying. So I got one that popped up that was called Explore Arizona's Craft Beer Scene, a dynamic fusion of culture, community, and economic growth.
Yeah, that's got to be AI driven.
And then the first thing was an obviously AI image of fake brewery labels.
Yeah.
They're definitely not real. Definitely not any Arizona breweries on there.
Those aren't even English words.
No, they're just letters strung together.
Right.
And then it goes on with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Intermistic Partners champions the economic vitality and international expansion of Arizona's craft beer industry.
Nah, that's AI driven. There is bad implementations of anything.
And at the end it says call to action. Explore Arizona's craft beer scene by visiting local breweries and participating in tastings and festivals. Engage with the community and immerse yourself in the evolution of craft beer in the Southwest. Cheers to the spirit of Arizona.
Yeah, that's just word salad.
Yeah, absolutely the most wild thing.
Hey, do you remember like a couple years ago when people would just get like super upset when like some real estate company would do a list of the best breweries in Arizona and like it's just to drive real estate traffic and people are like that brewery doesn't even exist or that brewery is closed or that brewery sucks. Like it's I don't know if that was AI driven, but it was definitely just like someone just did a search who has no idea.
Yesterday I saw one of those articles and I was like, what? And it was a Tucson one too. I'm like, 1055, huh? Go visit them downtown? Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like if we had that tool, would we make that mistake? No. So,
it's someone with no context on the industry and they're just like, oh,
right. So,
and now it's becoming easier and easier. What time is it?
We're about 40 minutes in.
All right.
Should
we break?
You want to break? You got some more things to talk about?
Yeah, I got some more stuff to talk about.
All right, we'll take a break.
Cool.
I don't want to interject because I put it on my list, but I don't have
jump in there.
I do want to say that the hemp bill that we supported, that we kind of came in midstream, is not going to move forward.
Not moving forward this
year. It missed
year.
crossover week. We had such a difficult time in the House, and that's historically where things went to die for previous versions of the bill that we weren't a part of. There was a calculation made. There wasn't a vote put forth in the Senate. If there would have been, I'm sure we would have been able to at least be heard in the House. But it's the House bill didn't do that well. So this is the problem with coming in midstream is you didn't have a lot of opportunities to talk to even people that we have good relationships with as to why they should support it. Mm-hmm. Should we decide to back this again, which I think we should, and I think we will be involved, we'll have much more time to explain. We'll get the Restaurant Association involved earlier, the bars, and make that request. But there's two things. One, there is a lot of anti-THC sentiment wholly based on people's dislike for the dispensaries at the state legislature. And their strategy as the dispensaries is to attack.
It's definitely a scorched earth thing.
Yeah. So this happens in the alcohol industry. We sometimes come up against people who are in the industry who literally call, they couch it as we are the last bastions of keeping things together. We are dealing in poison and the evils of prohibition. And so they'll scorch the earth too. It doesn't happen as much, but when it does, it's not pleasant. And I don't, I don't like those kinds of arguments.
Yeah, there was no, they were leaving no opportunities for, that's my phone.
Yeah.
They were leaving no opportunities for working together. It was just.
Yeah. The second thing is there is a battle about what agency should probably administer this. And, this was written and involved the Department of Agriculture. We just don't go in there and change their bill. But that we have to take a look at that. They definitely have a role in this. And, if you're in charge of a state agency, you're looking for opportunities to grow your department, and that's a great application. But there are people who are not happy with the way the marijuana industry is run by the Health and Human Services, vis-a-vis the dispensary equity program licenses. That has been completely dominated by the very people that the program was designed to keep out, to the tune of 25 out of 26 belong to multi-state operators, and they are not in the hands of...
Oh, multi-state or large
Yeah.
state operators. Large state operators, like Copper State Farms.
Yeah.
Who owns sole dispensaries.
So there's that. There's, it's kind of funny that they're throwing bombs about different THC products that aren't regulated when they attack the bill that would regulate it. And some of those products are sold in the very dispensaries that they represent. It's easy. They fly in these experts to say, this is poison, but they also sell those things.
They sell the exact same thing. It's so crazy. I will say, once again, my hemp gummies are more effective than my cannabis-based gummies for my sleep.
Yeah.
And it's also because they're mixed 5-to-1 with CBD. But they're just so good.
Anyway,
Not the point.
No,
Not the point, Rob.
Well, no, we're going to go through another year where this is unregulated. So,
It's wild.
Yeah, I know.
Wild that it's completely unregulated.
Yeah. They'll point, well, there's a law that says you can't inject. There's just there's no enforcement.
No, there's no enforcement method.
No, there's
there's no law against it.
There's no concerned business. That's going to say, hey, this is cutting into my deal here. We're trying to regulate. We're trying to keep this. Anyway, I had an interview with Lauren Gilger on the show. And by the way, you want to be as smart as anybody, listen to the show. For the first half of it, you're going to get a lot of political news. It's going to be in an entertaining format. And then, subscribe to the Arizona Agenda. And you will know so much about the state. It won't be intimidating to you. But anyway, I had an interview with her. And,
wait. So just to clarify, the name of the show is
The Show. Yeah, it's on at 9 a.m, but you can listen to every version of it. It's online. You can subscribe to it on whatever podcast thing you pull up. My interview with her, we had an exchange, and she says, well, tell me if this bill is going to move, or I'm like, nah, it's not going to move, but it was good to talk to you. And so she said, well, we'll probably pull it. So it would have been actually airing today, but I just, I want show producers, writers to know, it's not always about that. I had an opportunity to get her up to speed on things. And so we are here to be a resource. We're not here to necessarily always be on TV or always be the story, but if we can keep them up to date and we keep them informed, that's what we're supposed to do.
Right.
So anyway, no, I'm like, I didn't want to be
what's
on.
up with hemp right now.
Yeah. It's so another year. And we'll, I'm kind of looking forward to the session to be over so we can start to talk that talk. It's a little pointless to do it now. The House is on a 1-week recess, whether they want to call it that or not. The Senate disagreed with the House and says, no, you have to be open. So now they're going to have the speaker and one other person call session open.
To session open, immediately
say,
closed.
oh, we don't have
any
quorum.
business today? Okay, closed.
It's crazy. Anyway, so that's
now I'm drinking the 928 from Wanderlust Brewing Company. Obviously, when I was up in Flagstaff, I took the opportunity to visit some of my favorite places. The 928 is made with locally collected wild yeast and honey. And it is a farmhouse ale. It's a saison. It's delicious. So a farmhouse style wild ale, they call it. Nice. So anyways, it's great. I know, I love it. Other news to work on. March Madness is coming up.
Yes.
I had someone from Brewery Database reach out, Brewery DB
Yes.
reached out to me and asked for information about breweries near the stadium. So I gave him near State Farm, where...
The Final Four.
Yeah. Are there also events going on downtown? Because he asked for a downtown list too.
Oh, I don't know.
So I did, and I gave him all the info. I gave him links to their websites. I gave him contact info. And while I was doing that, I thought, what about a train? There's no public transportation in Phoenix, but we do have that crappy light rail, and it goes from downtown Mesa
Yeah.
to Metro Center now, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing once you get past Huss Uptown. That's the last brewery that's within half a mile of, or even a mile of the train. North Mountain is, it takes
Other
a turn right
Yeah.
there on Camelback. I think Camelback?
It does on Camelback, yeah.
And so it goes the wrong way for
And it
North
goes up to
Mountain.
Metro Center.
Yeah. So there's a list of Superstition Meaderies right on the line. Pedal House in Tempe makes the cut. And, of course, everything in downtown Mesa. So it's a pretty nice little
Phoenix
thing.
Beer Co., Walter Station,
Phoenix Beer Co., Walter Station. Yeah.
but not anything on...
Roosevelt Rose.
it goes up Central to... Yeah, I mean, you're
No.
7 blocks away or...
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
So anyways, yeah, that was cool. They made the downtown list.
Okay.
Yeah, that was cool. So expect to see a whole lot of new beer drinkers heading out here for March Madness.
Right on. When is that?
Coming up.
I won't even be here, I don't think, for that.
I won't even talk about it again. NAU golf tournament. See the things I give to
Yeah.
this guild. The NAU Hotel and Resource Management School has a golf tournament coming up. So it's their largest fundraiser of the year. And I'm going to be talking with Richard from Phoenix Beer Co. about that. He's very involved in their program. So have a meeting with him next week to discuss how we might be able to help on that. We've got Allied members reinvigorating the Allied member program. And making it more valuable to the people that sign up. So got some ideas on that, reaching out to people that have been active, because even if they haven't been, we've had some sign up in the last couple of years, but the ones that haven't signed up, some of them are still active. You know, like they want, I talk to them every few months, and those are the kind of Allied members we would like to have. So I'm going to get that going again. I owe it to them.
Well, let me just fill everybody else in. After the pandemic, we never reinvigorated that program. We didn't take anybody's money because, you know, we wanted to provide them the same service back to them as we had in the past. And it's kind of a chicken and egg thing. We need a certain amount of members to be involved for more generic type of things. And, you know, in the meantime, every once in a while, someone would approach us and say, hey, can you do this for us? And we would say yes, whether they paid or not. If it was not just, hey, I want to email a bunch of people, or I want all your contacts, or...
which we don't give out, by the way. We do not send email lists out to Allied members. Certain levels get a direct email to our list through me, though. They don't ever get the emails.
Right. And we don't give up any cell phone numbers. We were accused of that. I'm like, dude, I don't even have your cell phone number, so I couldn't even give it to anybody.
Yeah.
We're kind of looking for opportunities, but we need a number of people. We are definitely trying to get some sort of conference-like experience off the...
I wore my BrewCon shirt today.
AZ BrewCon.
Just for this.
You know, but I'm not sure what that looks like yet. So notionally, we're trying to schedule it around when we do the Arizona Craft Beer Awards, but that date's kind of a floater until we get a signal from Phoenix Magazine when they want to actually do their festival, and then we have to do some subtraction. We know that we'll be collecting GABF entries, so we know approximately when in time that some of this stuff has to happen. But it may be, we may change things up. We may do a Sunday awards and a Monday conference, because I think that will get more participation.
And thought being that there are several breweries that are closed on Mondays, so it's easier for them not to be in the brewery. A lot of times that's their only day off of the week, and now we're taking that away from them. But it seems like it would at least help some of the friction. And then the breweries that are open on Monday, we're just doing the best we can.
Well, it gives us an opportunity to observe whether people from the rest of the state come down and enjoy the rest of the city. And so we'll know from social media posts like, yeah, well, you were here for the whole weekend, so that we can maybe fill in some programmatics in the future. Not required, but that would be a time for our allied members to throw a happy hour or some sort of social gathering too that wouldn't necessarily conflict with the things that we have planned.
Right.
So,
and I also want to do webinars. If I get some participation, our ally members would love to be able to sit and interact for half an hour about their expertise in their industry. And everyone says, oh, it's just a sales job. It's not just a sales job, because there are many people in this industry who just don't know. Like, I'm getting event insurance. I just have to assume they know what they're doing and be like, oh, get me whatever I need. You know more about it because you've done it for a long time, but I haven't done that. So learning all those things without being necessarily having to do it right now for a business reason, but actually just learning for the education purpose, I think it'd be very helpful. Getting participation is the challenge.
Yeah.
And it doesn't only have to be with brewery members. It can honestly be open to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. So we take meetings with folks all the time. And sometimes I go, oh, well, that could have been a podcast. It's very transactional in terms of like they get a better understanding of how we're structured and what we're capable of doing. And, you know, it's with any of our members, allied members, breweries, it's like, it's what you put into it. Like, you know, if a brewery wants to schedule time with us to ask questions and understand issues, happy to do it. Like, as it is, we sort of do it on our own. I mean, when you get on to Tucson, you're not just going to hand out posters. You're going to go out there and throw a few messages around that you feel are important. And that message may be different for different businesses. But if they dive in, like, you're there, like I'm here. Like, oh, you want to know, you know, why we move the elections from X to Y? Here's why. You know, we've written about it in newsletters, but we're there for the face to face. So, you know, the thing that makes people successful within this organization is, you know, a lot of times they'll have a first meeting with us and we'll sort of understand where everyone's coming from. But if they come back with since we talked, this is what I want to do. Like, all right, we'll give it a shot. We'll throw it out there. We'll do a webinar. How can we get more people there? You know?
And we definitely can find the experts.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. Finding people that want to be out there and sharing the information is totally easy.
Right. And we have the capability now, with the experience we have, to do both live and podcast at the same time. So I never want to lose that social component. So, you know, especially if we know the space. Like, we've done it with a couple of our meetings, and like, it's unfortunate because like we throw it out there and we get the participation. It's kind of light when we really nail it. And when we have, you know, a problem with something, and you know,
right.
It's
when there's a problem, people show up. I mean, when.
So anyway, yeah.
I think that's all on my list.
Yeah, I got a couple other things, but we can wrap that up and save it. It's not going anywhere.
All right, cool.
All right.
Thanks for hanging out there, Rob. Thought we had some good information today.
Yeah, for sort of having a couple of notes. But these are the things that we talk about all the time, and, you know, on the daily, like sitting in the office, bouncing ideas off each other. But we wake up every day trying to make this organization better for our members, whether they're allied or brewery members. Whether you think about us every day, we're there doing the job. So we're gonna have a good spring. Kind of hibernate a little bit, until we launch Real Wild Woody in Flagstaff.
We have no time between now and then. There's zero time. What are you talking about?
That is the month of May.
We do not have open time in the month of May. You haven't looked at the calendar, have you? Or you look at the one up there? Because I haven't changed that in like 6 months.
It's evergreen. Those 6 months are evergreen. Mm-hmm. Anyway, cheers.
Cheers.
We don't even need to do the tagline. Everybody knows it.
Yeah, okay.